In this video, we're going to have a look at how to create a Google form using the new AI tools built into Google. So the best way to create a form and share it with students is to do that straight into Google Classroom. So select quiz assignment, and then this will pop up. Now this generates a blank quiz. Now at this point, you can either remove it here and then add your own quiz, or you can click in this and then update this form. So this button here is what's important. It's the grade importing, which means that all of the marks from here, and if you add the points of your final quiz here at the side, all of these will import into your marks within Google Classroom, which is very helpful. Click on here, the actual form itself, and then this will open up a blank quiz. Now, in order to use the AI features here, at the very top of the screen here, you'll see help me create a form. So click on that, and then you have this box that will pop up. Now this can create a Google form very quickly just by typing in some simple instructions about what you want the questions to be about. But the more information that you put in, the better the form will be. So you'll notice here that it says that you can type in the @ symbol, and then that will then search your Google Drive. Here, I've put together a document. So this was one that I just got AI to produce for me, a simple document. And this information is one that I then used to create this prompt. So this prompt here, I want Google Forms to create a Year 10 GCSE Geography quiz based exclusively on the information. So I'm going to take this information and I'm going to copy and paste it in just a second. But have a look at some of the things that we've mentioned here. So we're going to use the @ symbol to select the files. And then we've said that the quiz must be exactly 10 questions. And it must use the following variety of questions. So multiple choice, checkbox, short answer, and drop down. Now, you can have as many questions as you want, but if you give it a specific number, it will definitely make that number for you. I've put some requirements in here that are quite useful as well. So add a short explanation at the start for Year 10 students, just telling them that age is really important. And at the top, include the name, class, and then I don't have to do all the classes. I just say drop down 10A to 10H and class teacher questions. Ensure all distractors, so wrong answers, are logical and relevant to the topic, because sometimes they might not be, and ensure the tone is academic yet accessible for 14 to 15-year-olds, or whatever age you're using. So we're going to take that now and we're going to copy that into the Google Form blank quiz, and we're just going to type this in here. Now we're going to add the @ symbol in just a second, but before we do that, the best thing to do is to go over to your doc, copy that exact title, and then in here, paste that in, and then that gives you the exact document. You can add more than one document if you like. Here I'm just adding the one document for this to reference. So once you're happy with all of that and it's exactly what you need, just go ahead and press create and give this a few seconds. So from here, it gives you a preview. So you can either try again and it will generate the questions again. You can go back if you want to and change your prompt. So let's have a look at this. Welcome Year 10 Geographers. This is a quiz and it gives us the topic of the quiz and also a few instructions. So your full name, which is what I wanted, the drop down for Year 10, class teacher, and then it has used the word multiple choice here, which I can just delete if I want to, and then a few of the answers inside. Let's see if there's 10 questions. Yes, there is. So once you're happy with that, read through that. And if you're happy with that, create the form and then insert an existing place, which means that this will then insert into the blank that we were just using. So you'll see, because we used a quiz assignment in the settings, we'll see that this is already automatically a quiz. If you're making this form not in this way, you'd have to then turn that on and then look at what the points value would be. So one thing you'll notice is that this doesn't include all of the answers. So at this point, you can just add your own responses by going to the question answer and then including what the answer will be. And then once you've done that, you can actually go down to the bottom and it will say suggest questions. So you can press suggest questions and it will use those questions to think of following questions. And then you can then decide if those are questions that you want. You can either select or deselect them if you like. And then once you've got all the questions that you want, if you like that, you can also do retry and then you can insert 3 more questions if you want to as well. So at this point in the video, you are ready to go. You just need to add in all the answers, and then your quiz assignment is ready. From this point, you can stop watching the video if you want to. From here, I'm going to be showing you a few more ideas about what I did to improve the form, to add the answers, and then a few images that I got from Gemini as well. So now we're going to have a look at how we can use Gemini to help us add to this form. So we're going to take this form and bring it to include images where possible, and then provide us with the answers. Obviously, if this is your subject, it might be faster just to go through and indicate the answers. But let's say, for example, it's a bit of a long process. You've got many questions. There is a faster way. Now, the first thing to explain is that when you go to Gemini, you cannot simply just go to add and upload or add from Drive your Google form. That just will not work. There will be an error. So there is another way to get all of this information off and upload it to Gemini in one go. It needs to see the question and it needs to see the options. So we need to get a picture of this, and the form that you attach to it still will not work. So the only way to do this is go over here to the 3 dots, click on that, and then select print. And when you have the print box pop up like this, your destination should say save as PDF. Okay, and all you need to do then is just press save. Here's what it will look like this. And then this PDF, you can just simply download it, or it will just go into your Drive. And from here, you need to then add, either upload if it's downloaded, or from your Drive. As I've done here, I've then just said, give me the answers from question 1 to 10, or however many questions you have. And then it will give you all of the answers highlighted. And then all you simply need to do is just go back and highlight the correct answers. In the case of open questions, like the one that we have in question 6, where the answer is something which might be typed differently, we can copy and paste this, and in here, where it says feedback for all answers, I've just pasted the answer in here. So this is when they answer, this is the feedback they can get. Now you can make this more or less and literally ask Gemini to expand on this. At this point, you can also add a link to a website or a YouTube video. So this is the video that I've added, where you can just copy and paste the link to the YouTube video right here. And when they answer that question, they get that feedback. This will help them to understand a bit more about that question. Now that Gemini has the actual form and understands the question and answers, you can then have a look and say, well, suggest images that I can use for some of the appropriate questions. So this means that I don't want it for every question, but for where it matters, where maybe an image might be worthwhile, which images would you recommend? And in this scenario, they've given us a series of images and said, this is for question 3, this is for question 1 and 2. So here's how you now get it into your form. So what we're going to do is we're going to select, just for this demonstration, if you've got 2 screens, it's a bit easier, but if you haven't, we're going to select this one and then hold Shift on our keyboard and select Gemini. And then right click, we're going to add to a new split view. So it does this now, so the screen's split in half. So in this example here, where we have Gemini on one side with the image, and then we have our question, we're going to click on the add image on this side. And instead of browsing, we can just simply take this image, click and then hold and drag over. And then this should upload that image onto here. And we can make that bigger or smaller if we need to as well. To unsplit your view, you can now go here, arrange split view and separate views. So once you've done that, you can then go back to your Google Classroom assignment. And here you'll notice that it says blank quiz still, even though that we edited this form. So what you can do here is you must add a title, and then over here, add the points from the Google form that you've just created, and then select and say save draft. When you go back to this and then say edit, you'll notice that this now has the same name as your Google form. Once you're happy with that, you can just press assign. So that's it. This is how you create a Google form with AI and save a bit of time on the way as well.